It's been a really disappointing year for the price of platinum. Slowdown in the car sector has hit demand for this industrial metal. But with everybody so pessimistic, is now actually the right time to buy? In this video, I'll go through where I think could be a good entry point for what could be an extended recovery into 2022. Hello, I'm David Jones from Capital.com, and I thought we'd do a longer term outlook for platinum. Over the years, it's been a good performer in terms of trends and the gains it's made. This has not been the case this year. So I thought, well, let's take a look. We're in the last couple of months of the year. Let's take a look into 2022 and see where the opportunity could be. And I do think there's an opportunity in platinum down here, but more of that as we go through this. So I'll talk a bit about some of what happened in 2021 for platinum, why it's been such a poor performer. Then look ahead to 2022. We'll jump onto the platform, take a look at things in a bit more detail, do some technical analysis, and set up a trade that I think could be a really interesting one from a medium to longer term point of view. As usual, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, if you could click on subscribe, it does help support the channel. It means we can continue to push out lots of different content throughout the week. And of course, every Friday at 2:30 UK time, I do a live stream direct from the YouTube channel. If you're subscribed with the alarm bell notification clicked, you get a message off YouTube just as we're about to go live. Right, let's get into it and take a look at platinum in a bit more detail. So as I said, we've seen some good performances from platinum over the years, and actually this year started well. In February of this year, we saw the price of the metal trade out to a 6-year high. Really strong start to the year, but very disappointing since then. One of the reasons for this, let's look at the uses of platinum. About a third of its demand comes from the car sector. It's industrial demand anyway, and it's used in catalytic converters as a way to reduce emissions. It's not just the car sector, it's used in other parts of industry as well. It's used in hard disks, electronics, it's got medical applications, dental, all of this. So it does have real industrial demand. So it was hit, not surprisingly, when we saw lockdowns because of coronaviruses and economies slow down. But I think probably the biggest hit to industrial demand this year, let's go back to that car sector. We know that the auto sector around the world has really had their levels of production. They've had to rein them back in because of this global chip shortage. We know how important technology is to cars these days. If the chips aren't there, car production gets put on hold. There's really long lead times now for new cars. So production being reined back in means less of demand for platinum. And the car companies are saying that this chip shortage affecting production is going to continue into 2022. So we need to bear that in mind, I think, when we're taking a longer term look for platinum, that the demand is probably not going to just spring back from the car sector. Coming into this year, the World Platinum Investment Council, so that the industry body for platinum, forecast there was going to be a shortage of supply versus demand. As it thought at the beginning of the year, demand would pick up and get back to normal after the 2020 year of the pandemic. But actually, in its latest report released in the last week or so, it says that 2021 is probably going to end up as a year of oversupply of platinum, and it expects this oversupply to continue into 2022. So again, that's quite a cautious outlook from the industry body. But from an investment point of view, it does note that the latest quarter investment demand has risen amongst investors, retail investors for platinum, with a 25% jump on the quarter in demand for bars, platinum bars and platinum coins. And it's saying that one of the reasons behind this, as we know when we talk about the likes of gold, is investors getting increasingly concerned about the threat of inflation, or inflation up at these levels and staying around for longer than perhaps was first thought. So the worries about inflation have driven investment demand for platinum, even if we're not seeing the same demand from an industrial point of view. So where are we for the year? Well, it's been disappointing. The price year to date at the time of recording is down by about 5%. In September of this year, we saw the lowest price since November 2020. It all looks a little bit gloomy for the next few months and into 2022. But this can often be the time when a market starts to defy some of those gloomy predictions. There comes a point when all of the bad news gets factored into the price. And I wonder if we're there now for platinum, which is why I think it could be quite an interesting slow burner trade down here for into 2022. Let's talk about the levels to watch, then we'll jump onto the platform and take a look at the charts in a bit more detail. So in terms of resistance on the upside, for me, the most immediate one is the November high hit so far, coming in just above 1,100. After that, we've got to go back to July and look at 1,145 as the next obstacle. So we do have plenty of obstacles on the upside from here. But we also have a lot of interesting support levels. The 29th of September low came in at $935. The low for the year this year is in at $890. So a lot of support down here. And I think we can use these for the trade. So let's get into it. Let's put some color on these numbers and let's see if we can set up a trade that runs perhaps a bit longer than some of the others, but could be a really interesting one to carry into 2022. As we're doing a longer term look at platinum, I thought let's go back with all the data we've got on the platform. So we've got about 45 years of data here, going back to the mid-70s. And you can see we get some great runs over the years. We had a good run here from 2002 into 2008, and then more recently the bounce back from 2020 lows into the beginning of this year. And that's really the bit I want to focus on, because I do wonder if the correction's over. Let's take a look. So there's that 6-year high in Feb of this year, in February 2021, and we've seen the price just decline since then into the September lows, but it has tried to stage something of a comeback. It's got hit quite hard over the last couple of days, but I do wonder if it is trying to build a recovery from here, and that's really what the trading idea is going to be about. We'll come back to the price action in a second and we'll set our trade up. First of all, let's take a look at the RSI. So it's oversold after this sort of sell-off of the last couple of days. The RSI has gone oversold down here. You can see it. And as I often say, just because an RSI has reached an extreme doesn't necessarily mean the market is going to turn around. Platinum doesn't really care that its 10-day RSI is oversold. But if you go back and look at the more recent signals, in September, oversold. I think that has so far marked potentially an important base for platinum. Go back to August, that did okay for a bit, for a couple of days, a few weeks or so. We saw the price go sideways before selling off even further. Then back here in June, that was a good shorter term turning point before the market carried on lower. So I think there's an argument for suggesting that perhaps this is a good entry point with the market being knocked back over the last few days. I thought we'd put a moving average on as we're taking a longer term look. This is a 50-day moving average on the price of platinum. And as I'm sure you know, moving averages, when the price falls through the moving average, that's a sell signal, a suggestion that perhaps a downtrend is starting. When the price moves above the moving average, like here, October of this year, that's a buy signal. And we did see the market move a bit higher. The latest signal it's given is a sell signal when the price fell through a couple of days ago, falling through about 1,025. So again, if you wanted to be a bit more patient and see, is this really going to be a major recovery, you might want to wait to see if the price moves back above that 50-day moving average. But for me, as usual, it's the price action that's the most important. So what I want to do is pick up on the trend since May. So we'd had this downtrend in place since May, after the price had sort of rallied from March into May, and then we saw the downtrend really pick up some steam. And it's what's happened lately over the last couple of months that makes me think, well, perhaps there is a good opportunity here for a longer term trade, a longer term buy into 2022. So the market was still weak, broke out of the downtrend in early October. And again, I often don't believe the first break. I think we want to see the market do something else. And the fact it has managed to, into late November, managed to rally through the old highs from the summer, pushed as high as levels not seen since July, did make me think, well, perhaps we are now seeing more of a sustainable recovery in the price of platinum. And this is the trade I want to do. So, okay, the market has been hit and it has really gone down every day for the last couple of days. But I do wonder, down at these levels, this low from September, down at about 890, is that an important low? And we're going to see perhaps a base being built here. I mean, what would change my mind would be if the market fell through 890. If the market falls through 890, then clearly we don't have a base. But for now, I'm sort of betting that could well be the case. So when it comes to the trading idea, when it comes to stop losses, for me, the absolute closest for the stop is going to be below these lows, below these September lows at 890. Because by definition, if the market starts making new lows for the year, then that downtrend hasn't stopped yet. And I'm perhaps a bit early on my idea for a recovery. These lows are interesting anyway, because we did see back here, November last year, around 920 hold the price up. So for me, 890 to 920 is an interesting area. If I want to give the market a bit more room, I could go even deeper for a stop loss and put it the other side of the September 2020 lows. They're in around 817. So that's one idea. If we're looking for a really big move higher, have a wider stop loss so we don't worry too much about the day-to-day volatility. But what I might do, I'll go somewhere in the middle. So I'll go 850 for a stop. That's what I'm going to do on platinum. So I'm going to be a buyer now, where it's trading now, around 978, 980, that sort of level, and put a stop in at 850 and just see if it can build a base here and perhaps start to pick up some steam into the end of the year and into 2022. Let's set the trade up. So I'm ready to go. The market at the moment is trading around 981 and a half to buy. I'm going to buy 2.6 ounces. I'm going to put my stop loss in at 850, and that gives me a risk of around £250, the normal risk for the trade. You can see it. You can see my stop loss there on the chart. So, quite a bit below that September low, because I think if it does trade down to there, then I'm wrong. I want to stay out of any volatility. So I'm having a wider stop loss. I'm looking for a bigger move into next year. But let's see how it works out. We'll send the trade through. We'll click on buy, send the trade through. So we bought 2.6 platinum at 980.95. When it comes to targets, well, for me, if this recovery is going to continue, my first intermediate target is a run back up to the November highs, a run back up to 1100. After that, be looking at a run to the July highs. They're in at just below 1150. And then if we are going to see a real extended recovery through 2022, then I'd be targeting this sort of zone up here, the sort of 1170 through to sort of 1280 area. So we'll see. So as I say, wide stop loss, give it a bit of room. I do wonder if that downtrend has ended. I need to see those September lows hold. That's why my stop's at the side. Let's see how this works out over the next few months. That's it for this slightly more longer term outlook in platinum. I do wonder if things have got too bearish. Are we seeing the first green shoots of a recovery? We'll see how it plays out in the months ahead. We'll come back, we'll do an update. But for now, from me, David Jones and Capital.com, we'll leave things there. Good luck with your trading. For more trading videos just like this, please subscribe to our channel.